Hello and welcome back to the WHL Show. I am Gabriel Neumann and I am joined by my co-hosts Tanner and Adrien. This week we are going to be chatting just about the same usual stuff that we did last time. We have a special guest, Prince Albert Raiders defenseman Justice Christensen, joining us later on the episode. So stay tuned for that. Um, we are going to go ahead and basically just jump into what we've been doing with player stats and game recaps, and also just like news and different things like that. So there was a big blockbuster trade earlier today that we'll talk about later, but so stay tuned for that. But we're gonna go ahead and just dive straight in with our player of the week. Tanner, if you want to lead us off with that.
Alrighty, so for the player of the week, it's probably not shocking at all, Gavin McKenna. And this week in 2 games, he had 3 goals and 4 assists for 7 points total and was +4. And in doing so, the Tigers made their way first place in the Central Division. And in the whole season already, he has 18 goals and 37 assists for 55 points. And he has a +24 rating in 27 games so far. So he's kind of ridiculous right now, actually.
Ridiculous right now. Our goalie of the week is Calgary Hitmen goalie Anders Miller. He was named goalie of the week after getting his first WHL shutout, which is awesome. And he went 2-0-0-0 on the week with a 1.00 goals against average and a .958 save percentage, which is incredible. He made his first WHL start against the Edmonton Oil Kings on November 29th. He turned aside 27 of 29 shots and a 4-2 victory then. And then his only goals allowed came on a shorthanded 2-on-1 and then an Oil Kings power play. He was also played in the Hitmen's Teddy Bear Toss game, which was game 2, or it was 2 nights later. That one was against the Moose Jaw Warriors. He denied Braden Yeager in the first period on a shot, which is great. He also denied all 19 shots that he faced, earning his first career shutout, which was also his second WHL game played, which is just love. And then he is for November. He is. Yeah, he only was that his first WHL start? It was his first start. So he's played 3 games, but it was his first start on oh my gosh, sorry, I'm blanking. It was his first start on the 29th, but his debut was a few games earlier. So overall, his stats are a 3.0000 win with a 1.11 goals against average and a .945 save percentage. And he joined the Hitmen the late November. He made his debut in a relief appearance on November 22nd against the Victoria Royals and had 6 of 7 shots saved to preserve a 5-4 overtime win. He only just signed with the team on November 19th, which was just a couple weeks ago, which is crazy. And then Adrien, if you want to go ahead and get us chatting about the rookie of the week.
The rookie of the week is Jackson Jacobson from the Brandon Wheat Kings. It's the second time he's earned the award this season. He led all rookies in points all week with 2 goals and 4 assists, 6 points in 3 games. He kicked off their 3-game road trip with pair goals against Med Hat on the 29th. He's a name that you hear a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
He's still really young, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he played a lot of games last year, despite being, 15?
Yeah, exactly. Just a kid. Love it. For our Easter, so we're going to go into standings, and then after that, we'll go into player stats or player league leaders. For standings, Tan, if you want to start us off with the Eastern Conference, and then I'll do Western, and then we'll chat a little bit about the overall standings.
Sure. So first in the Eastern Conference still is Saskatoon with 36 points. They're 17-6, 1-1 after last couple games, which were a 4-1 win versus Lethbridge on the 29th and a 4-3 shootout win versus Swift Current on the 30th. So that's always good for me personally. But
Try if you want to go to second place there.
Sure. Medicine Hat second with a 15-11, 1-0, and their last two wins, they got 7 goals each time. First was a 7-5 versus Brandon on the 29th, and then 7-3 versus Calgary on the 30th.
Third place, we have Swift Current Broncos with 29 points total. They have a 14-10-0-1 record so far this season with a 6-5 loss versus Prince Albert on the 29th, and then a 4-3 shootout loss versus Saskatoon on the 30th. Our Western Conference in first place is the Everett Silvertips with 45 points overall. They have a 17-6-1-1 streak so far. Record so far, with a both wins were actually 7-1 wins. The first one was against Kamloops on the first one was against Vancouver on November 29th, and the second was on Kamloops on November 30th. In second are the Victoria Royals with 33 points overall with a 15-11-1-0 record. Their last two games saw a 3-2 overtime loss versus Seattle on November 29th. And then a 6-1 win versus Seattle on November 30th. And then third place for the Western Conference are the Tri-City Americans. They have 37 points with a 14-10-0-1 record. This is one of those moments where the third place actually has more points than the second place, but because Victoria is leading their division, the BC division, they are automatically up one over Tri-City. So Victoria is in second, and then Tri-City is in third with 37. Their last two games saw a 4-3 overtime win over the Wenatchee Wild on November 29th, and then a 5-2 loss versus the Wenatchee Wild again on November 30th. Overall, the rankings shake out to Everett in first place with the 45 points, Tri-City in the second place with 37, and then the third place is actually the Spokane Chiefs with 34 points. Saskatoon does have 36 points this week, but just because of how the standings shake out, the WHL site has the rankings listed as Spokane in third with 34. So we have overall, unless I completely looked at it wrong. No, it's right. Okay. I was like, did I just put it on the US division rankings? That would have sucked. But no, I was right. So our top three are Everett, Tri-City, and Spokane. Adrien, if you want to lead us into our points leaders this week and talk about who they are and who it was last week.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in first place, it's Gavin McKenna, the same as last time. Last week he had 48 points, and now he has 55. And then there is a little bit of a change with second and third. It's Andrew Crystal of Kelowna in second place. Last week he was in third with 40 points, and now he is 47 points. And then it's Carter Bear moving down to third. Last week he had 41, and this week he has 45 points.
Awesome. Tan, if you want to go into goals.
Cool. So first place has been unchanged. It's still Cameron Schmidt from, I didn't write his team, Vancouver, I think. Either way. He had 23 last episode, and he still has 23, but that's still first place. So, and
he's from Vancouver.
Second and third place also swapped this week because Carter Bear's in second, and he was in third last week with 20, and now he's got 22. And third place, moving down, is Shea Van Olm, who was second with 21 goals, and he still has 21 goals, but he's just bumped down that one place in the standings.
Got you. Assist, Gavin McKenna, who was in first place last week. Last week he had 33. This week he is still in first, and he has 37 assists this week. In second place, this one is actually their second and third are the same as last week. Our second place is Andrew Crystal from the Kelowna Rockets. Last week he was in second with 27. This week he has 29 assists. In third, Berkeley Catton was tied for third with 26 points, and now 26 assists. and now he is in third just alone with 29 assists. Our goals against average, Jesse Sanch of the Everett Silvertips was in first place last week and is in first place again. He has a 2.15, which is the same as he had last week. Our second place, Evan Gardner, who was in third place last week, is bumped up to second. Last week he had a 2.62 goals against average, and this week he has a 2.55 goals against average. And then last week for third place, who was Evan Gardner, this week it is Alex Worthington, who was second place last week and is now third place this week. Last week he had a 2.54. This week he has a 2.57. On our save percentages for our goalies, Alex Worthington was last week in second place, but is now first place for the save percentage for goalies. He had a .917 last week and has a .917 again this week. Evan Gardner, who was tied for third last week, is in second place now this week with a .915. And then this week he has a .916. And then Jesse Sanch, who was in last place, he was in third, tied with Evan Gardner last week for third place with a .915, is still with a .915 for save percentage, and he is in third place. And then our last little goalie stat is our wins. Lucas Mateka of the Tri-City Americans, he was in first place last week and with 13, and he has 14. Evan Gardner was tied for third last week with 13, and then Dawson Cohen of the Spokane Chiefs is tied for second technically with with Gardner with 13. So wins are pretty tight. And then now we have some really cool trades to get into before and some news. I just saw the note that you left in the doc. That's so fun. Now we have some fun trades to get into, and then we're gonna go ahead and bring on our guest, and then we'll do our little outro. Just nice, quick and easy this week. But last week, as we talked a little bit about last week, we saw the trade with Everett and Regina. The Everett's making a lot of moves. They brought in Jackson Vaughn. They moved. They sent away Julian Mays. They're making a lot of moves, and the Pats are also doing the same as well. We are seeing a lot of moves there. We still have yet to see a place for Corbin Vaughn. And there are some there's been a bunch of rumors about where he's going, but there hasn't been anything confirmed. The big blockbuster trade that we saw today between Moose Jaw and Lethbridge, obviously were between Moose Jaw and Lethbridge, so they weren't between the Pats or anybody. So it's there really wasn't. So yeah, we're just basically overall what I'm trying to say is that we don't know where he's going just yet.
No.
At all. So the what we do have a little bit of news from the Everett Silvertips. They acquired Penn State commit Shea Bush from the Lethbridge Hurricanes. And then Tan, if you want to talk a little bit about the CHL US Prospects Challenge.
Yeah. So I thought it was going to be longer. Actually, I didn't know it was such a short little 2-game series, but the CHL team kind of blew it out of the water, because they won game 1 6-1, and game 2 was a little bit closer, but it was still pretty tight. It looks like at the final buzzer, Team CHL had outshot the NTDP 38-12 and had won 61.5% of the draws. So it was pretty tight, but it is fun to just watch the different levels of hockey and different teams and all of that, especially coming up to the World Juniors. A lot of these guys really.
Yeah, and we're gonna touch on the World Juniors roster here in a minute, but first we are going to talk about the aforementioned Moose Jaw trade, which is just absolutely crazy. There were a lot of talks about Jaeger being moved in this trade before it actually happened, but then it happened, and it was announced that Unger was also involved in the trade, so it was a much bigger deal than than I think anybody was expecting. I was certainly not expecting Unger to go along with the trade. So that was really big to see. Jackson Unger and Braden Jaeger from the Moose Jaw Warriors, who are arguably two of the best players on the Warriors, are on the way to Lethbridge in exchange for in total, it was 5 players and 6 draft picks being swapped, which is just crazy. The Lethbridge Hurricanes sending to Moose Jaw includes 18-year-old forward Landon Ward, 19-year-old goalie, so they're getting a goalie in exchange, Brady Smith, and then 15-year-old prospect Colt Carter, and as well as 2 first-round picks in 2025 and 2028, a second-round pick in 2028, and then a third-round pick. Oh my gosh, there's still more. Third-round pick in 2025, a fourth-round pick in 2026, and a fifth-round pick in 2026.
Jeez.
Holy cow. So as you can tell, Jaeger and Unger are worth a lot, and it is very impressive that they like this. Oh my gosh, it's huge. So Moose Jaw is getting a lot out of it, but also Lethbridge is getting some really, really great players in exchange. Jaeger turns 20 on January 3rd. He was named the Warriors captain on October 3rd and was leading the team in scoring with 30 points in 21 games. He, as we were about to talk about, was selected to join to represent Canada at the 2024 IIHF World Junior Championship. And for 2024, and then for 2025, he was named to the Canada's National Junior Team Selection Camp for the 2025 World Junior Championship Monday morning. So it's like this is not the official roster for Team Canada. It's just the roster for who's going to the camp to be named to the final roster. So he attended World Juniors last year and will be attending the selection camp and will honestly, if we're being honest, probably make the final roster for Team Canada again this year. And then Jackson Unger is also, hold on, let me see if I can find where I was looking. And also back to Jaeger, he was selected 14th overall by the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2023, but was later traded to the Winnipeg Jets this past summer. So he is a Jets prospect and has overall 280 points, 150 goals and 165 assists, and a plus 31 rating in 232 games. Jackson Unger, who, fun fact, was actually the first hockey player I ever interviewed, which I think is really cool. When it was his rookie season and my rookie quote unquote season with Area 51 Sportsnet. So shout out to Unger. His article is still on on Area 51 if anybody wants to go read it. But he has been doing really, really, really well and has been incredible for the Warriors and will be taking his great talent to the Hurricanes. He is right now has a career record of a 62-49-3-3 with a 3.64 goals against average. He is set to turn 20 on January 19th and was the WHL East Division first team All-Star in 2023-2024. Last year, he had a 35-15-02 record with a 3.0 goals against average and a .908 save percentage with 3 shutouts. He proved steady as the Warriors won the franchise first WHL championship last season with a 16-1-2-0 with a 2.9 goals against average and a .910 save percentage. He was originally selected by the Warriors in the 3rd round, 53rd overall of the 2020 WHL Prospects Draft. And so the Hurricanes are getting some really, really great players. The Warriors additions, we're seeing oh my gosh, sorry, hold on. As I lose my place. Yeah, so Ward is joining. He was originally drafted in the 2021 WHL draft for the Lethbridge Hurricanes, 83rd overall. Brady Smith, the 19-year-old goaltender coming over to Moose Jaw from Lethbridge. He's played in 16 of the Hurricanes' 24 games this season and has an 8-4-1-1 record with a 3.31 goals against average. He was originally selected in the Hurricanes in the 6th round of the 2020 WHL draft and has a career record of a 14-11-2-1 with a 3.49 goals against average. And then our last guy in this crazy trade was Carter, who is a 15-year-old prospect who is a defenseman. He is currently playing with the St. Albert Raiders U18 AAA squad, and he was named a EHL playoff MVP last year with 22 points in 9 games, which is crazy. And led the defenseman in the Alberta Elite Hockey League's U15 division in scoring with 55 points in 34 games. Love high scoring defensemen. And yeah, so that's a look at who's getting who each team is getting and what exactly the moving parts are in this trade. And then we mentioned earlier that Jaeger is being selected or going to the selection camp for Team Canada at World Juniors. If one of you guys want to talk a little bit about that roster and the different players, because there were a total of how many?
32, I think.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Or, 32 in total. 12
yeah.
Players,
Selection camp roster announced by Hockey Canada includes 4 goalies, 10 defensemen, 18 forwards. So in total, it's that. But a big chunk of those were WHL players. And then if one of you guys want to jump into that little roster there.
Should I take it? I can
Yeah,
have it open. I'll go. So 10 of the WHL teams will feature at least one player at the selection camp. Seattle and Kelowna have 2 players each, and the rest, I think, just have the one. I'm just going to look at the list here. It's a lot easier. So there's, for the goalies, you have Carson Bjarnason from Brandon and Scott Ratzlaff. And then, I think these are just in whatever order. Harrison Brunick from Kamloops and Tanner Mollendijk from the Saskatoon Blades, of course. And Sawyer Minio from Seattle. Caden Price from Kelowna. Berkeley Catton from Spokane. Andrew Crystal from Kelowna. Also, Riley Height from Prince George. Tanner Howe from Calgary now. Gavin McKenna. And Braden Yeager, who still says Moose Jaw.
It does still say Moose Jaw. It's also so funny because today, literally this morning, they were like the Moose Jaw Warriors tweeted, Braden Yeager, our captain, is going to the Team Canada selection camp, and then not 4 hours later, they were like, he's not on our team anymore. Bye. Just kidding. He's still going, but he's not ours. I always find it really interesting whenever teams trade their captains away. We saw last year with the Oil Kings and Rhett Melnick, and this year it's always crazy. And the return is always going to be bonkers.
All of the trades so far this season have been the type of trades that have me scared for the trade deadline, because if people are already making these kind of moves a month before the trade deadline, I'm not sure I'm ready to see what happens.
Oh gosh, yeah.
During the trade deadline,
people are really desperate during the trade deadline. It's like the last week is just scrounging in desperation, and so it's like, well, if they're already doing this, what's going on? The last week before trade deadline, I'm really scared.
Exactly. We're already seeing some crazy stuff, so it's gonna be even worse. Or better if you're not involved in the emotionally involved in the teams that you're following, because those are just entertaining. Because for me, Moose Jaw and Lethbridge, it's I'm not emotionally involved in either team, so it was just whoa, that's just crazy. But if it was a team that I was actually really closely following, I'd be devastated. So it's gonna be really fun seeing what those trades look like. Now we are going to go ahead, and I'm going to bring on our guest of the week, Prince Albert Raiders defenseman Justice Christensen. He was fantastic as they always are. And I hope you guys enjoy getting to know him a little bit on and off the ice. I was really impressed by not only his interview media skills, but just his humility, and he's just very humble and very I just from the what he was how he was presenting himself and the way that he talked about his teammates, it was just this guy's captain for a reason. So I will get you guys to also see why he's captain and why he's so great, and then after that we'll do a quick little outro, and then that'll be it for this week. So it was pretty quick and easy. I'm going to go ahead and add this to this, or I'm going to remove us from the stream, and then I'm going to add him to the stream. So it'll be a quick second here. named captain of the Raiders affected your game, if at all, this year?
I don't think it's affected it much. Obviously, it's an honor, but the way it's affected my game, it hasn't much. The guys in the room make it really easy for me, and they're all great leaders. So it's been really good so far.
Do you find yourself leading similarly to Johnson or Herman, or do you kind of have your own specific leadership style?
They were both great leaders too. I just like to be vocal and lead by example. And they both did that great. So yeah, I guess I did take from them a little bit too.
Love that. For those who maybe don't watch the Raiders as much, can you give them a snapshot of what your team is this year? What are the vibes? Who are some key players? Things like that.
Yeah, we got a lot of speed and skill. Our identity is we're a gritty team and like to play hard. Our goaltending with Max Hildebrand has been great this year, and Mercick, our new addition, he's done great, and Aiden Oring as well. There's lots of guys, Lucas Dragosevic coming in as well. They've all contributed a bunch, and there's I could go down the list of guys. But yeah, like I said, we like to play hard. That's the identity of the Raiders, and that's how we like to play every night.
Obviously, every team is gunning for a great postseason. But what would you say is the Raiders' main goal or mindset this season?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, a deep postseason run is our goal, and through the off season and into the start of the year, that's kind of been the talk, and that's where we want to go. But first things first, getting into the playoffs and then building from there.
What about you? What are your individual focuses and goals this year?
Obviously, I just want to get to the next level. That's always been my goal. So just working to that any way I can, always being a good teammate, leading by example, being a good leader, and then good things will come from there.
I love that. That's a great mindset to have. Going back to when you were a kid, how old were you when you started playing hockey? What got you into it?
I grew up in a small town, so just my parents took me to the rink. I think I was maybe 3 or 4, something around there, and just threw the skates on and kind of gave me one of those like strider things, and just kind of took off from there. I think it was about 2 skates, and I was skating on my own, so I picked it up pretty fast.
You are known for being very good at your job as a defenseman. You're, a very physical player. You're putting your body on the line, not afraid to get in a fight or two as well. So have you always been someone who's willing to put yourself out there like that, or is that something that's really only started to show within recent years?
Yeah, for sure. That's always been my type of game. That's how I grew up, and that's how my dad played. So I kind of took after him a little bit too. But no, that's like what I said. Just like to do whatever it takes, and if we need a block or a fight or a big hit to get the guys going, I'm willing to do it.
You kind of just answered my next question, but I was going to ask, what are your biggest strengths on the ice?
Yeah, I think my shot's a huge one. That's how I get my offense, but defensively, just being on the right side, finishing checks when I can. Pretty good skater and like to move the puck up ice.
Do the Raiders have individual goal songs, or is it kind of like a one song for the team?
It's one song for the team.
Gotcha. If you had a individual goal song, what would your goal song be?
Oh, we did. We had a little slow pitch tournament at the start of the year, and we got to pick like a walk up song.
Oh, yeah.
I picked Back in Black for that one, so I think I might have to go with that.
Solid. Who is an underrated teammate on the team who maybe is doing great but isn't getting enough recognition for it?
I'd say my billet brother, Harrison Lodwick. He plays a similar style to me. Not a big points guy, but he's willing to do whatever it takes, and he's a great leader in the room too. So I'd have to say him.
I just wanted to share Ao's answer really quick. He said you, and he says that while you your name is constantly brought up, you don't get a lot of recognition for what you do off the ice. So I just wanted to share that. Some praise from your teammate. I think it was really, I think it was pretty cool because I could tell that just from what he was saying about you, I can tell you're a good leader and a good guy in the room. So
yeah,
kudos
awesome.
to you, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. This season, obviously, there's that really tough, or not, maybe not tough, but maybe so also, but there's that really tight rivalry with Saskatoon. But are there any other teams that you're excited to have the opportunity to play against, or any other rivalries that you're really into?
Yeah, our main rival is Saskatoon, like you said. We haven't got a chance to play them this year and won't till after Christmas. So
That's crazy. Yeah.
that'll be about 8 games after Christmas. So it'll get pretty chippy for sure. But I think kind of started last year a little bit. Us and Swift Current and Brandon kind of plays a similar style game to us. So those games are turn into rivals pretty quick when there's two tough teams going at it. So I'd say us and Brandon and Swift Current.
Totally. On the talk of teams, but shifting it to NHL teams, who were your favorite NHL teams growing up?
I always been an Oilers fan. Grew up in Central Alberta, so I went to the side of Edmonton, not Calgary. Not a big Flames guy, but yeah, mainly Oilers.
Are there any, it doesn't have to be on the Oilers, could be anybody, is there anybody either growing up or now who in the NHL who maybe you look up to or you model your game after or something like that?
Yeah, Chris Russell, I believe, is who I'd say I play most like. I've actually had the chance to meet him. He grew up in Central Alberta too, so he's a great guy, and that's kind of who I model my game after.
Love it. Do you, looking at you as a specific player, do you have any superstitions or rituals that you got to follow on game days?
Not really superstitions. I like to have a nap, kind of just go with the flow, but I kind of have my routine, but not so much superstitious.
Got you. What does an average game day look like for you?
At home, we have like check-in around 10 and then pregame skate. We'll have our meeting after that and then usually go home and make some chicken or rice, then have a nap for about an hour. I actually have chicken or rice again and then go to the rink around 4:15, kind of start getting warmed up from there.
Nice. This is not hockey related at all, but are you a Spotify or Apple Music type guy?
Apple Music for sure.
All right, I use Spotify. Apple Music I have not used ever, but I think that they have a similar feature to Spotify Wrapped. So who would you say would be your top 5 artists of the year?
Top 5, probably Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Nickelback. That would be up there for sure. I don't know who else. I'll go with those 3.
Solid, great. Do you have an idea of what your most streamed song would be? Is there a song of the year for you?
Song of the year. I'll go with San Quentin by Nickelback. I played that one quite a bit. That was a go-to.
Solid. All right, the next couple little bit are going to be related to you and your teammates. So, of course, just your boys on the Raiders. Starting off easy, who are you closest to on the team?
Who am I closest to? Probably my billet brother, Harrison Lodwick. He grew up in Red Deer too. So I've known him for years, and now billeting together. Just have that bond, I guess. One from previous, I'd say Niall Crocker and Max Hildebrand. Met them when I came to the Raiders, and we're great buddies now.
I love it. Who on the team we were just talking music. I know that AO said he's the music guy, but and from what y'all have said, you have similar music tastes, but who on the team has the best either locker room music or just music taste in general?
I'd say me and Braden Doobie have similar music tastes, but AO, like you said, he's the music guy in the room and he does a great job. So both of them.
Nice. Who has the worst music taste on the team?
I gotta say Luke Miraz.
Yeah? What's he play?
It's bad rap. It's not like the catchy songs. It's just, I don't know, not really stuff I listen to.
That's fun. If you were stranded on a deserted island, which teammate would you pick to help you survive?
Ooh, I gotta say Harrison Lodwick for that one too. He's pretty smart and he knows what he's doing. So yeah, probably him.
Solid. Who, on the flip side of that, who do you think would get you killed the quickest?
Oh, Lucas Dragicevic probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know, just not super smart. He would he'd maybe try something dumb and I don't know, get us in trouble somehow.
Hockey related one. Who would you want with you on a 2-on-1?
Ooh. I don't know. I'd have a couple of picks here. I
Yeah,
would
totally.
say ignoring because he can score and he would give the puck to me too. So kind of 50-50. I'd pass to him. He might put it in the net or pass back to me. I'll say him.
Sick. If you could swap positions with any other teammate on the team, who'd it be?
Swap positions
Yeah.
for a game.
Yeah.
I'd pick one of the centermen so I can take some face-offs. I don't know
Nice.
what one, but maybe someone or a forward who's a little more defensive and can fill my role a little bit better.
Perfect. That's smart. And last but not least, what is a message that you have for Raiders fans this year?
Just thanks for the support. It means a lot to us and you guys coming out to games and making it loud in the building. It's a lot of fun to play in front of you guys, and you guys make it awesome every night. So we appreciate the support, and we're just going to grow from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, perfect, amazing. Let's get us back in here. Awesome. So thank you so much again to the Prince Albert Raiders and to Justice Christensen for such a great interview. It was really great having him on. And then, of course, thank you again, Tanner and Adrien, for joining me this week. This week was a lot easy, very quick and easy. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Next week, we will be streaming around the same time-ish. Monday evenings, we shoot for 6 p.m. PST, but we're kind of flexible on time. So just keep an eye on our Twitter. Follow us on our Twitter. Our information is on the screen. We will keep you updated with all the WHL stats and standings and player rankings and news and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that is about it. And again, make sure you follow us. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're listening on Spotify, and watching if you're watching on Twitter and or YouTube. Really, really appreciate it. Kisses. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.